All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise and glory is unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rachakudash, that belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, hopeful elect. Shalom unto you. All right, what I'm going to name this, and this shouldn't be a very long video, but what I'm going to name it is be mindful not to become that on the contrary type brother. Okay, yeah, it's good, and there's a place for seeing the opposite of certain situations, but you have to be mindful that the place, time, order, and so on and so forth of things. Okay, and then it could easily become a stumbling block to the next lesser spiritually discerned man that can't see it. Okay, so there's a lot of situations that can arise out of this. Okay, but when you become that type of spirit, that's not the spirit that we were set up to be in this body. All right, we have to understand we're come from different walks of life, different situations in the world, but coming into this, the spirit of Yahweh Shimon Shai, that piece of Yahweh Shai that's within us, is what connects us on one accord. Okay, I'll read this in Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? And when you read the definition of contrary, it says opposite in nature or meaning, opposite, opposing, contradictory, clashing. Okay, so on and so forth. It says another one was incompatible. We're supposed to become more compatible. Okay, as Yahweh Shai is compatible with Yahweh, that's what we're supposed to be. Okay, growing into that. Okay, it says of two or more statements, beliefs, etc., opposed to one another. All right. Um, yeah, and this is a good one. Logic. It says of two propositions so related that one or neither, okay, but not both must be true. Okay, you some people just want to knock your faith. Some people just want to knock that down, and I'm speaking more so from in the ministry, and I don't believe there's brothers doing that, but there's some type of people out there that just into that, and we got to be mindful that we're not in falling into that role. Okay, that our role is especially on the forefront is to understand that hey, my job is to agree, and sometimes not every battle needs to be fought in the moment. Sometimes you go back, do a little research, and then your belief may change into what the next brother's belief is. Or you go back and check it out for yourself, and then you bring that in another scenario, in another situation, in private, to the brother and be like, look, this is what I found, this is what I believe, this is what I know. Can you show me what you came up with, blah 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 blah, blah. And that just is the situation. Okay, and the point is, you put them ideas together, or you put them what you both come up with together, and now it's ready to be truly presented in his full form and light. All right, but there's like a brother I was talking to, he was just opposing a lot of things that I was saying. I'm like, damn, okay, all right, or damn, is he opposing me or am I opposing him? And I started thinking about like, damn, this ain't going well. So let me try to see how I can get us back on key, but the brother didn't want that. And so sometimes we have to be cautious that we're not falling into that spirit, okay, of just being anti and contrary. Okay, it says perversely inclined to disagree or to do the opposite of what is expected or desired. And this internet has gassed people up because it's given a lot of people that don't know. That I'm just leave it at that. People that are without and don't know, you know, that gave them a voice to just be trolls, man. Okay, so you'll read, and I'm telling you, it gets to the point where you can just go in the comment section. There's always going to be somebody for whatever's going on, and there's always going to be somebody against what's going on. Even if you can tell in their statements they don't believe it. Some people just want that back and forth situation. Okay, and that's what we got to be um, mindful of. All right, so inclined to disagree or to do the opposite of what is expected or desired, and that's what we don't want to fall into. Look, one of the worst is perverse. Look, of a person or their actions showing a deliberate and obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unreasonable or unacceptable, often in spite of the consequences. Okay, and this is what we talk about the 2/3 with, man. The 2/3 of you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, hey, they don't want to get right. They want to continue going in the way of the beast and the way of the devil. Okay, in the way of Satan. We know the word Satan is adversary, right? All right. And so, for sake of argument, yeah, it makes for good drama, but inside, we don't need that drama. Okay, we need things that are solidified, that are pushing forward toward the building up of spiritual belief and faith. Okay, so let me see what other words is in the opposite, reverse. Okay, contrary, proposition. Contrary to, conflict with, counter to. Okay. Used to, on the contrary, right? The phrase used to intensify a denial of what has just been implied or stated. Let me get into that or no? Here we go. On the contrary. Used to intensify a denial or of what has just been implied or stated by suggesting that the opposite is the case. Conversely, in contrast, okay, what the opposite meaning or implication. All right, and let me see if I can go back to contrary. Let me get that definition. What is being so different as to be at opposite extremes? And that's not our goal in this thing, man. Our thing is we're trying to figure out how we are jointly fit together, right? Let me grab that. So yeah, I'm gonna jump up because this is beautiful. So yeah, this kind of hits the point more than what I was gonna get. I was gonna get that in Corinthians, but this hits pretty good. It says, let me get to the point. Yeah. I start at verse 1, Ephesians 4:1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, right? Beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherein ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, right? And sometimes a brother may be wrong, but you have to long suffer that. Okay, what's the best way if you know brother's wrong? What's the best way to deal with that? Is to go and either sometimes you can just hop in and put it out there, or sometimes you may have to go back, do your research or whatever the case may be, and then present it to him in another situation. Okay, but there's better ways to do things, right? Forbearing one another in love. Okay, and that's what we're commanded to do, not to be contrary all the damn time. Opposing and all that all the time, right? It says endeavoring to keep the unity, which we should understand what the word unity means, right? Of the spirit of the bond of peace. Let me get it. All right, and this is the dictionary, Oxford Languages, for unity, right? It says the state of being united or joined as a whole. Union, unification, right? The state of forming a complete and pleasing whole, right? Especially in an artistic context. It says harmony, accord. We know the Lord's Prayer. At the Lord's Prayer, the Shema prayer, okay? That we're supposed to be like-minded, okay? We know these scriptures. A thing formed a complex whole, right? All right, so we got that. So let's go into this. Back in Ephesians 4:3, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace, to keep peace. Okay, there is one body and one Spirit. There's one whole conglomerate, okay, of individuals that make one thing. They make up the body of the church. And one Spirit, the Holy Spirit, that connects us, right? Even as you are called in one hope of your calling. What? And that one hope is to salvation, right? One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power, one God, and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all, right? But every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Hamashiach. So we all have that piece of that gift we were given, okay, which connects us in this faith. It says, "Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men." Now that he ascended, what is it? But that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth, right? It says, he that descended is the same also, and ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And to understand those verses, it's just showing you that he went out and did this first for us, man. He went out there and put himself out there and went through it. Now we got to go through it, okay? He went through it first to be connected to the Father, and that's why he's the only begotten in the firstborn. Okay, and then we'll be joint heirs with him, Lord willing, right? It says here, in back to the point 11, and he gave some apostles, and these are the differences, right? And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry. The ministry is the one connection between us, is for the working of the ministry. So yeah, there is a place to be contrary or on the contrary sometimes, okay, but in its proper form. And that's what we're discerning, that's what we're learning, when to be that, right? But more so, how to remain connected in one spirit without causing these divisions, right? It says, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach Yahushua. And that's the point right there, that these things are only for the edifying. It's not just to cause and to be that way. Hey, man, we all get spirits and stuff that hop on us, man. Okay? It happens. You just got to be mindful of when it's happening, that you got to, watch what's the most important goal. The most important goal is the edifying of the church, man, the edifying of the body. Okay? And that things are running on one accord, because when this society completely breaks down, we got to have this locked and loaded, so to speak, right? To where there's no divisions amongst us. Okay, and you can believe that you're going to get it together all of a sudden, but if a brother knows that you always that on the contrary type spirit, a brother really gonna want to try to connect with you. Okay, and this is first and foremost to myself. And that's what happened when the other brother and I was having a conversation, and I was like, damn, is it him or is it me? I can't even tell no more. So let me fall back. But if the brother's off, hey, the context was there, Anyway, it says, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh. And that's the point. The unity of the faith. And we see unity right there, right? Right? Unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, that when henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, you're not sure, but you're now mature to know when and when not to, and to know and to see why a brother would say something in this fashion. It's like a kid saying, "Hey, officer, I didn't, I was driving the speed." No, mama, you wasn't driving the speed limit. I saw the numbers. You was going 10 miles over. Hey, it's not the time to talk about this when I'm the cop, when I'm in front of the cop. It's a time and place of maturity when to know when to say something and when not to, and it's a tough juggle. Okay, I struggle with it daily, man. Right? It says, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, but by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness. And see, there's certain men and certain spirits out there that love that debate, that love that argument, but at the end of the day, you got to know how to keep that quelled as much as possible. Yesterday at camp, we had somebody come up, and he just wanted to say what he wanted to say, and I'm trying to keep the edifying of what he's saying, but then also connect with his question. But this guy didn't really want that. Once it was fully realized, it was hard to pull it back. So we just, all right, bro, you got it, man. Just go on and do your thing. All right, say what you got to say and go on. Did we live right now? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here. Right? And cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Right? And some just have that type of spirit on them. You know, it says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up unto him in all things, which the head, even Yahushua. Okay, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by the which every joint supplieth. Okay, everybody has their full measure of where and what they should be doing in this body, and making sure we're connecting the body, not finding places to separate the body. Not looking for flaws in one another, but looking for the Holy Spirit in one another, that gift and that Yahushua in one another, and how to expand your gifts and help a brother expand his gifts, that we can be at our full strength. Okay, yeah, we can't just throw out who we are. Okay, and I say that in the sense of we can't just be like, well, all the other qualities in me that don't fit in this truth, I'm gonna just get rid of that. That don't happen that way. But you can always put the gifts that promote this thing the right way in the forefront. Okay, and that's what the body and the church is looking for. Okay, it says reading 16 again, it says, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part. That your best gifts that are given through the Holy Spirit are what's on forefront, man. Not your own feelings and things that you want to put out there, but what's best for the body unto edification, right? It says maketh increase of the body. Look, it said it itself, making increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. Okay? Sometimes taking a low may not be, the most pleasurable thing that we have to do, but sometimes it's just the right thing. Okay? Sometimes it's just the right thing. And this I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, right? Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them, right? That part that's not of the gift that's in them, letting that be heightened, and then I want to stand out. It's not about us standing out. It's about us putting the puzzle together so the image of Yahushua can be presented by the church. Okay, when you talk about you rep this thing on the side, I'm repping this gang over here, or I'm trying to do this thing over here, and you putting shame on the truth because you're putting your own personal things into the platform of the truth and into Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's platform. Hey man, you off. So we have to be mindful that we're putting the image of Yahushua and all that goes with that as the forefront of what we do in this thing, right? It says, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart. Okay, who being past feeling have given themselves over to lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness and greed. And that's going into, if it takes complete hold of you, if you're not checking it, it can go deeper, man. It can actually snatch you up out this truth. But ye have not so learned Hamashiach, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua. Okay, and this is where look, put off the and put ye off concerning the former conversation, the former conduct, the old man. If you were a lawyer in the world, or you was any whatever, if you just knew how to, you had the gift of gab, or if you just was these certain ways, hey, you got to be careful that don't spill over and that is being used against the truth. Sometimes you may think you're using it for the truth, but you're really using it against the truth. So having a maturity of mind to be able to see past what you think is the right thing to see what's right for the body. Okay? And sometimes just not presenting it at that moment is the best way to do it. Okay? It says, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and by the renewing of your spirit, of your mind. Okay? And that's the repenting, and that's the maturity, that's the growth. Okay? And be renewed in your spirit of your mind. Okay? You know what? This ain't the smart. I normally will butt in and say this right now, but this ain't the best way to do this. Okay? This ain't the perfect time to do this. So I'm going to actually end it there. Lord willing, this was edifying. I just want to put that because I have to watch myself in that, you know, and you just got to be careful that we're watching ourselves in the sense of, are we pushing the truth or are we pushing against the truth sometimes? Sometimes the spirit, you know, just comes and we want to do what we think is right, but what we think is right may be what we think is right versus what's right according to the edification of the body of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which we are to be fitly united in and putting his word out. Okay? Let them other groups be off. All right? So Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praise and glory to the Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Harachakodash, double honor to our apostles, the bishops, the elders, the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, and much love unto you, hopeful elect. Shalom.